I'm standing on the corner of West Street and Palmyra Road. Are you? If you aren't, pause your player and walk to where I am. And when you get there, remember to press play. You can do that if you ever get ahead of me. I'm a slow walker, so take your time. Ready? Let's begin. Close your eyes and listen. Listen to the traffic charging up Engineers Hill and pouring into Bristol. All those souls passing back and forth, to and fro, on their ways to... where? Work? To the supermarket? The airport? Sun, sea and sand, get away from it all. For a week. Off to who knows where. Maybe there's passers-by wondering why you've got your eyes shut. How many passers-by and passers-through have gone up and down this street, West Street? That's the sound of history in the making. Open your eyes and look across the metal river of traffic. You are looking south. Do the trees still have their leaves? How lucky do you feel today? Turn to your right, clockwise in old time, and look down the hill. The masts communicating with the world, or just as far as the eye can see. Turn right again and look down the road behind you. Palmyra. Who named the street Palmyra? What's the weather like today for your walk? Is the sky blue? Or are you getting wet? Sorry. I dare you to look up and feel on your face whatever the great British weather gods will throw at you today. So, turn clockwise to the east and start your walk down West Street. So tread gently in the steps of all those others. Anything could happen in the next 30 minutes.
I've lived in Bedminster pretty much my whole life now, so 21 years.
It all comes to an end in the end. Our Leonard, he had that garage up opposite the three horseshoe, but the three lions as they call it now, and the plough and windmill, I don't know what they call that. That's up on the top of the hill.
Don't hurry. We've got a lot of history to cover. All these folks hurtling through and hurrying by, places to go, money to be made, fish to be fried. So let us dawdle and wander and waste our time along this street.
And then you come down over Fire Engine Hill.
Yeah, and then there was a butcher on the corner.
There was a butcher
and
on the
next
corner.
door on Fire Engine Hill was a paper shop. There was paper shop Inkers, because I went to
Yeah,
school with
that's
the girl.
right, that's right. I can't remember, but West Street then was,
Oh, it was thriving.
Cross Hengerston Street, look left and right, take care. A glimpse of Ashton Court. Any balloons today? Consider for a moment. Nothing is ever past and done with, good or bad.
It's all changed, isn't it? A lot of children stay indoors now. My grand's lodgers, they were a young couple and they had a little baby. And when I was about 10, I used to take her all over the place in the pram, babysit. So we used to go down Ashton Park, Victoria Park.
There's not that much on West Street. I don't think there's the job centre. There's the Indian takeaway. That's quite nice. That's always been there as well. I remember going to that when I was younger. Tesco's. There's the midwife's up there as well, and a doctor's surgery. That was where I went when I was pregnant with my son. There's a couple of pubs, and the rest is houses, I think.
Chesil Street bus stop. Let's sit for a moment. If there's any space on the plastic bench.
Sometimes I go out in the garden and play with my dog, or on the trampoline. And I don't really go out the front much or to the park or anything, because quite a lot of my friends live quite far away.
Who's waiting here today? Anyone? Don't stare. 3A to Aztec West Waterside Drive. 21 to Templemead Station. 52 to Broadmead, the horse fair. 75 to Cribbs Causeway Bus Station. 76 to Cribbs Causeway Bus Station. 672 to Broadmead Lewins Mead. A1 to Bristol Bus Station.
His name was Honeyfield. Where the old people's home is now, that used to be a builder's yard. And opposite was his shop, so Jim Honeyfield. And our father, we was always in and out with her with stuff. Because our dad had a couple of lorries, and then he'd go down and say, here, pick up a load of sand or scalpings or what, and drop up the yard. He was good to me, Jim Honeyfield.
Have you ever waited here for a bus into town? Or took one to the airport from the other side of the street? How far did you go? How far do you want to go? Hop on the next bus if you like. I'll still be here in your head when you get back. Let's stop and ask, how did it all get started?
Bedminster was one small town in Somerset. The town's origins seem to have been Roman, centred on the present East Street and West Street. Finds here have been interpreted as an enclosed rural farmstead, dating between the 2nd and 4th centuries, but with possible Iron Age origins.
Oh, you mean right where we're standing now? So how did Bedminster get its name?
The River Malaga, which runs through Bedminster to join the Avon, was an earlier Christian place for baptisms. The old word for which bed may be the origin of Bedminster's name. Substantial Roman remains have also been found at Bedminster Down, including plaster, sandstone, roof tiles, coins, pottery. Hence the site is thought to be a Roman villa occupied by the Romano-British.
Okay, so there's all these old bits and pieces of pottery and stuff, but when did the official history begin?
By the late Anglo-Saxon period, Bedminster was a manor held by King Edward the Confessor in the 11th century, and in the Domesday Book of 1086 was still in royal hands. The royal manor of Bedminster comprised all the land south of the Avon, from the Avon Gorge to Brisington, and in the Domesday Book had 25 villeins, 3 slaves, and 27 smallholders.
Of course, the great god property, goods and chattels, including people. Well, Bristol can tell a long story about the buying and selling of our fellow human beings.
In 1154, it was given to the Lords of Berkeley, who kept it for 300 years. In 1605, it was purchased by the Smythe family of Ashton Court, who remained the lords of the manor until the 19th century. The population of Bedminster increased rapidly from 3,000 in 1801 to 78,000 in 1884. In 1862, John Payne took over the yard, then known as the Vauxhall Yard, and continued to build coastal cargo ships and small craft such as tugs. They closed in 1925 and the site was taken over by Bristol Metal Welding and Spraying Company, who are still in business there today. The population of Bedminster increased rapidly from 3,000 in 1801 to 78,000 in 1884, mostly as a result of the coalfield industries such as smelting, tanneries, glue works, paint and glass factories.
And does that bring us up to date? To right here, right now?
In World War II, Bedminster was one of several areas of Bristol that were heavily bombed during the Bristol Blitz. Post-war town planning relocated most of the heavy industry to the rural areas to the south of the parish, and new estates grew up in Withywood, Hartcliffe and Highridge.
We can't stop here all day. Let's get going down the street. Look across Chesil Street at the mural up ahead. Bedminster, like some crazy mechanical, mythological flying horse, mane and tail of smoke and flames. Then right, across the street towards Churchlands Road.
Bollums was on the corner of the Chessels. We was always in and out of Bollums.
Now across Chesil Street. What's that building on the corner with its fancy stone relief? An old bank, maybe? Watch your step. The traffic. A standoff of horses. Paint versus stone.
Where Paramount is now, on the corner there used to be the mission, because she said...
Yeah, but that's where James went. Just
yeah,
there.
James the cake shop.
Just my auntie used to work in there.
James the cake, where Paramount cars are. And on the corner was a church. And that was bombed. That was bombed, and they built it further up.
Lebrett's, Paramount over the road, Family Place, Landlord's Wanted, Martial Arts, Premier, Devster's Fancy Dress, Cafe Spice, bring your own alcohol, Travellers' Hostel. Go straight across Ireton Road.
The lamb was there, it's gone, and the red cow is gone. My grand's sister-in-law, when her brother died, she lived in Septon Walk, which is down by the March Road Library, and she used to go every night in the evening over Bartlett's Bridge. This lady, she was getting on, Auntie Ginny I called her, and she used to go to the Red Cow every night and have a stout, and then she'd come home again, walk down, and she, on her 90th birthday, she was in the Evening Post, and they did a party for her in the Red Cow. So it didn't do her any harm, she was good to walk over the bridge really, because there's all steps. So she was quite a character, Auntie Ginny.
I don't say alright, I go right. And there's quite a few things that I say that are very Bristolian, more so than others. You don't say here, you go here. Like you don't say come here, you go come here.
United Reformed Church, Bedminster. Speakers, August 2015. 2nd, Mr. M. Dorgan. 9th, Mr. C. Halstead. 16th, Mr. C. Catbay. 23rd, Mr. C. Halstead. 30th, Mr. M. Jones. That rather grand old Georgian Grade 2 listed building over the road at numbers 115 to 119 is Hampton House. Next door used to be the Red Cow, where they held the coroner's court for the Dean Lane colliery accident. Jury brought in a verdict of accidental death, 14th August 1886. Look at that amazing creature. Brunel's bridge for a spine and Concord for a nose, Bristol's industrial heritage trailing smoke like a dragon, fueling the future. Mutty Prof Pet Supplies at number 122, Rooming Emporium. Linger a moment at the corner of South Road, by R.M. Stevens and Co.
On the corner of Argus Road, there was a doctor's there, Dr. Millen and Dr. Bain. They had that. Then there was a gap, and there was, I think the show people used to have that sort of a gap in a yard at the top, and then the Red Cow, which is now pulled down.
Further down was the Red Cow. We had a party in there one night with a crowd of us, and they had these little flowers with gypsophilium in pots. So it was when the Lanas, was it? Viva la Spania was out. See, so all Albert got, he's like that. So the landlady come out, and she had red hair, and she said, "Hey, that's flowers. They cost money. Put them back in the pot." And he looked at her. He said, "Did they name this pub after the for red cow? Like, see the red hair." Well, we was out with her as quick as a boom. We didn't know what day it was. Anyway, we go back next day to get the car, and she's brunette. It must have sunk in. Yeah.
Behind the red cow was a fairground. Dad used to take us out there to a Boxing Day tree. They had dodgems. Well, it was only a short ride, but that was only a penny a ride.
Let's get moving. Cross South Road. Up there was South Street School, now Compass Point.
When I first started, all the teachers were single. The ladies were single, and they had to be right the way through. Miss Tipman, Miss Moore, I can't remember their names now, but they were all single, and they had to be.
Victory House, there's achievement for you. Pride, ambition, to let. Eileen's Florist.
You don't say scone, you say scone.
You don't say bath, you say bath. You don't say path, you say path.
Argus Fisher. Just below that, there was Polyrunners, the second-hand shop.
Oh, yeah.
Second-hand shop, little old lady.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a charity shop like the other day. It was a second-hand shop, and people used to take clothes and all sorts there. But it wasn't laid out or hung up, or it was just in a
tucked in a heap.
How they ever knew where anything was, it's unbelievable. And it was just a pile of people. I never went in there.
Opposite the Argus Fish Shop used to be a butcher's. Big fat bloke. I forget his name. And he had the house next door.
That house is still there, but it's a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Wasn't it called Victory House or something?
Cross Clifton Street. Not much like its namesake on the other side of town. Here's number 88. The first cooperative society shop in Bristol, opened by local miners in 1882. Peer in through the glass, as if it were a looking glass, through time, and think you see those miners putting the finishing touches to their shared dream of sufficiency and dignity. Airpoint. Is there anyone going in and out of the gate? Layer upon layer. The same the world over. One home built upon another. People coming. People going. Like a flood tide. An invasion. A mixing and a marrying. Infusing. New life. Mezzaluna. Tesco's.
Myers. Oh, Myers went on.
Myers was ever such a well-known draper's. It was a family concern, and they had it was all floorboards, not all posh, and they had seats everywhere for people. And my gran used to join the Christmas club there and buy all her bedding and stuff at Christmas, where she'd say that all the...
You could mention down and about this thing going round for the money.
Oh yeah, they used to have them where they put it through the money and the bill through that thing, and then they go up and shoot all across. You ever seen those?
Trams used to come up there and downhill, and up to the miners, and back again.
Oh, look over there. Bristol's industrial might crashing down like an exhausted beast.
And the landlord of the colliers used to allow the mine owners to have the room over the top of the colliers free of rent, so that they could be paid out, because the first place the miners went was downstairs to have a drink, and their wives used to come in off of West Street and drag them out the front to make sure they had the rent money on them.
Where are we? Here we are. on the corner of Sion Road, next to what is now a shady shop where they do all sorts of odd things. They had a wonderful heading above the shop, T. Pugh Jones, late of University College Hospital. And in his funeral service, and I had some share in his funeral service, we read that passage, I think, from the Book of Wisdom, which makes reference to the chemist making up prescriptions. And my God, Pugh made a fair number of prescriptions during his time.
Next door to Miles was a little grocery shop called Peacock's, and in the window was a big Vincent ball with all this clotted cream, and people used to go in and ask for it, and they just dish it out with a container into little plastic cups kind of things with a lid, and you could take it off there. But around the corner was Mouldens by the Rex, and they did all kinds of meat, cooked meats and things, chitlin and udder, all stuff like that. And that was really popular as well. That was Mouldens. So they were unusual little shops that you don't see anymore.
Jameson Auto Engineers, motor repairs, servicing, machining facilities, Bowden Locksmiths, and in the distance, E.S.&A. Robinson Limited, paper bag makers. Take a breather at Ali Baba's Indian, number 34, on the corner of Hebron.
We used to have a silly game, me and Margaret, Mitchell. We used to sit down on the... funny enough, there's another Hebron house further down where that cul-de-sac is. That's called Hebron House as well, I don't know why. We used to sit on there and try and make one another laugh. And we did have to try and keep a straight face until we burst out laughing, then we had to change the swap. But that was only me and Margaret did that. That road's very narrow, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ever so narrow, because when Auntie Jo married this chappie from America, he had a huge car, and I mean nobody had cars then, and he took the whole road up. And he came up, but I mean, it didn't matter because nobody else had a car. But we'd never seen anything like it, like a Cadillac, you know. It's quite nice to have a ride in.
What do you think they used to sell in that boarded up shop over the road?
Not a greengrocer with his horse and cart. And he went round for years going there. And he used to wear great big shiny, like, boots, and they did make a noise when he did walk, sort of thing.
Off we go again, down West Street, towards our destination. The Black Cat. Job Centre Plus.
I'd probably be like a computer programmer or something, or like a video editor.
I think, well, what I'm hoping to do is, I'm hoping to be a hairdresser in 20 years' time.
Probably an astronomer or a company owner. Or working with my friend Luke.
An hairdresser or something? I don't know. I don't think I've ever really wanted to be anything, but yeah, a hairdresser.
The Albert Inn, Treehouse. Can you hear the music? We must be near now. Oh, so near.
It established the jazz community in Bristol. Because that sort of happened, lots of people started moving to Bristol. People like Jim Blomfield didn't live in Bristol. He moved to Bristol to get into the scene, and that he was one of 30 musicians I can think of that moved to Bristol because they were great people to play with. And the standard just went up and up and up. And apart from London, I think at that time we were probably the most centralised city for jazz.
Linger a moment.
She renamed the club the Albert Hole, H-O-L-E, to have a play on words with the Albert Hole in London. And we had many big acts like Show of Hands. Show of Hands did their, I think it was their 10th anniversary. And they built up to be one of the top bands in the UK at the time. And they did a specific tour where they hired the Royal Albert Hall in London. And the idea was to do a tour of all the folk clubs that they played around the country, ending up playing at the Albert Hall. And the tour started at the Albert, and it was called From the Hole, H-O-L-E, to the Hall, H-A-L-L. One key thing was to try and do it as professionally as possible within the confines of a small venue. I used Ronnie's in London because that was my mecca for jazz as a template. The lampshades were even the exact lampshades from Ronnie's. 2 of them were actually from Ronnie's that he let me have.
Cross Diamond Street. Turn the corner and stop at the pedestrian crossing. Press the button and make sure you wait for the green man. No jaywalking. Remember, your safety is our first concern. I wonder what this place will be like 20 years from now.
Depends what time in 2035. If it's before July the 19th, then 30. If it's after, then 31.
Lots more technical aspects of it. I think that's the right word. Lots more robots.
I would probably like to see like more futuristic shops, like rather than just having like a shop with like food in it and like Tesco's, like that has like a shop that has more gadgets and stuff in it that like teenagers would want to buy.
And at last, we've arrived at where west meets east, the end of our walk. Turn clockwise. There's Cameron's Balloons. McDonald's. Insight.
Talking about the memories about the tram that was in Bedminster when it was bombed, and it was bombed halfway up West Street. So we got McDonald's there now, and so all that was the bus stag, and I can remember that. When they was building McDonald's, we was down there, and they was digging up these great big lumps of iron. So the bloke said, I said, "Yeah, sorry mate, that's tram line," because it's like a funny shape. It just ain't like a railway line. It's got another side to it. So that's tram lines you're digging up there. Where do they come from? I said, well, there used to be a tram depot there. Opposite the Albert. Used to be a big house there, a big double fronted house, where the car park is now. And behind that was a school. You have to go down round where the toilets are now, in the doorway to go in the school there. It got bombed and they didn't never finish, they just pulled it down.
Look up. See the balloons ascending so high in the sky. Hear the roar of their burners, fire breathing. Listen then to the silence as they break free from the earth. Take me up. Take me up. Leave this Bedminster with its clatter and rush, its histories and memories. Shed these layers of stuff. The Roman tiles, the dense dark beds of coal, the cobblestones and tram lines, the hollow traces of tools. Oh, shed and loosen yourself from the rusted and the broken and the left behind and the forgotten, and remember in your own way as you fly. Take only the lightest of things, your hopes. Float up and on to the future, to all our children's futures.
But it was all there.
You lived
It was really a
You lived in an area, why go to East Street or North Street? What? People around there went there.
It depends which way the future goes. So, if it's a utopia or dystopia. Yeah, I'm not sure it will be like people normally put the future in cartoons, like all hoverboards.
It was thriving, It was all now.
But they just killed it now. It's supermarket.
You go through now and there's nothing there really. It's just, as you said, it's houses and they'll be gone before long.
I'm currently renting a council flat in a high-rise purpose-built block, and I've thought recently about buying my flat if possible, because there's nowhere around here that I'd be able to buy, and my only chance of being able to ever buy anywhere is to start off buying this flat, probably.
Probably going to be a big museum, maybe.
With shops. A museum with shops.
Probably there'd be less restaurants and stuff like that, and it'd be more like shops and stuff like that.
I don't know when it was that electric came in, because my grand died when I was 17. She was being there and she went to live at President Road with her daughter, one of her daughters, and I don't know when electric went in there, but it was what's it, 1955 I think when she died. So it's quite late really not to have electric, isn't it? Because at the time we were moved into a brand new council house at the top of this Novus, funny enough, and we had everything. We had a bathroom and electric. But Gran didn't have any of that. It's incredible really when you think how they managed.
You have been listening to Bodies in Flights West Street Dream Walk, made in collaboration with West Street Stories.